Kotaro, full name, Mina Kotaro, is a third-year at Kamiyama High School in Class 3B, night class. He's classmates with Ina. His image color is #U1000 was his name in vivid red. It was picked due to the red inside his shirt and red fits his burning passion. He's commonly referred to with the strawberry, mic and heart on fire emojis. And in the AU, he was introduced to this event. Quotes. There's not much known about Kotaro as a child, but one thing that's for sure is that he had a passion for many things, which was later dimmed out due to his own perception of his talent in middle school. He was rowdy and competitive and absolutely hated to lose. His mother and father are both supportive. However, Kotaro was closer with his father, who would often encourage him to do extracurricular activities. But he never forced Kotaro to continue if that path wasn't right for him. His mother was more emotionally distant, who often didn't understand Kotaro's complex emotions. His father worked as an entrepreneur and his mother as an accountant. As the years went by, Kotaro started to realize that others were simply better than him. He didn't want to believe this, however he continued on with the things he loved. Though the more others were congratulated and celebrated, even if they barely worked for it, the more he felt the stress drawn upon him. He believed that being anything less would disappoint his father. Though this was untrue, he started to distance himself from everyone. Even when he tried to balance everything out, his grades were slipping and his talent, in Kotaro's eyes, was vanishing. Eventually, he decided to quit trying to be something he's not and observe from the sidelines, helping anyone out who's better than him or that has potential. This act deteriorated his self-worth and eventually leading to what Kotaro calls the worst parts of his life. He could barely function and everyday things became extremely hard. He brushed it off as nothing and even others believed that Kotaro was just Kotaro as normal. The guy who never acted sad, the guy who always found a place to joke, and Kotaro believed that too. But every day this burnout tore through him almost like a physical ache. He stopped responding as fast as he used to, couldn't find a future for himself, desperately hated the thought of being worthless or unserious, and then, after giving a terrible score on a test he was sure to pass, after finding nothing he could ever be good enough to try or be good enough to be successful, he stopped going to school, stopped trying to fight and fight. He practically couldn't move most days. Trapped in an eternal cycle of self-loathing and shame, he used most days to play games. However, that interest seemed to rot, as there was no real joy in that anymore. Even if his father was there, it felt like he wouldn't ever be able to find a future, and with his mother only seeing this as uselessness and being lazy, Kotaro decided to give up altogether. On the day of deciding on this, his mother had caught him in the act, and instead of offering comfort, he dragged him to his father, scolding him for ever thinking of trying to leave Earth instead of trying to recognize that her son's mental health was poor. Kotaro, overwhelmed with shame, couldn't help but finally break down. His father didn't yell, look at him with disgust, or be confused. He just hugged him and told him that it was going to be alright, which was what helped Kotaro the most. He didn't return to school much, but he made sure to try and get his education in, to make his father happy. A year after this, Kotaro was greeted with a younger brother, who he wanted to be someone to look up to, a cooler older brother in his own words. However, he was unsure of how to do this and quickly tried to give up on the idea altogether. Though, his father quickly noticed this desire his son had, and immediately took him to a Rad Weekend concert, to which Kotaro was not very excited about. On that day, Kotaro wasn't happy about the noise and brightness, but when he heard Rad Weekend's voices, he couldn't help being mesmerized, and he quickly figured out how to be a good brother, sing. He had decided that he wanted to sing and find the passion that he had once longed for. However, this passion is at a loose edge, due to it being formed because of his little brother. If Kotaro deems himself as failing his brother, then he has failed the only thing he was passionate about: singing. Fast forwarding to the future, somewhat, he met Akito due to meeting around the same time in Vivid Street. They were mainly close acquaintances, with Kotaro admiring him deeply, until Toya came along where Akito became much closer to him instead of Kotaro. Which Kotaro was happy about at first, but he became bitter due to being lonelier. Though he met Hinata, who was a good friend and singer until he quit due to the thought of being inferior to Kotaro and others. During the Vivid Bad Squad main story, he was the primary antagonist to the Vivids, due to cutting a cable to the show to aid Akito and Toya, which he felt extremely ashamed of as soon as Akito seemed angry about it. Later, he apologized for it and became an ally towards Vivid Bad Squad, eventually surpassing Rad Beacon with Vivid Bad Squad and other Project Sekai NPCs. Even though he is proud of this accomplishment, he still feels that he doesn't deserve to be there. Everyone else has more talent than him. He feels like a waste of space and subconsciously believes that he shouldn't be near Vivid Bad Squad. Tigers words from that day linger in his mind almost constantly, and he fears being added as a faker or less than others, which is why he practices till exhaustion in secret while keeping the facade where he slaps often, which keeps everyone away and unsuspicious of Kotaro's worsening mental health and depressive episodes, where he'll disappear for a week or two at best. He lies often about how committed he truly is to things. How much it actually hurts to hear that he's not trying or unserious, yet he'll keep it that way because he's afraid of those people worrying too much about him. He's afraid of the reaction they'll have when he talks about his pain or if it'll even be taken seriously. So, he hides behind a perfectly constructed mask. He desperately clings onto his happy, helpful persona. No matter how clumsy or dim-witted sometimes he may appear, he mainly does it to make others look better than him, even if he hates that. He wants more than anything not to go back to how he was in middle school, unable to get out of bed, unable to reach out towards anyone, and unable to continue living as he's always wanted to. Fearing that even his own happiness was fake and that he's been lying towards Vivid Bad Squad this entire time. As a third year, Kotaro takes night classes with Shinano Min in Class 3D, however he often skips classes due to being so absorbed with his personal life. He only goes if he feels like it, which is very rare.